Rent got too expensive, had to leave LA. So I got into my car and I went away to the big estate, playing poker every day, going all in with these fish like I'm at an all-you-can-eat buffet. No celebrities in this video. If you missed the last one, we hung out with an F1 driver. I'll put the link to it at the end of the video and down below. This time, however, we hang out with my buddy Zach from Pepperdine and spend the lake at Lake Travis on his boat. Halloween night, so we head over to 6th Street and have some drinks and some fun. Clearly in Texas, they think COVID isn't a thing and all the UT students are out. It's definitely a blast, and for those of you who weren't aware, nicotine is an addictive chemical. Next day, we hear of an insane high school football matchup going down between Westlake and Lake Travis, and ESPN ranks it the #1 high school game in the country. We went with fellow Westlakers Jake and Presley, and boy was it exciting. High school football in Texas is taken very seriously. Check it out. Presley and I then sneak onto the field for the final minutes, which was pretty cool. But you know what's even cooler? Stacking opponents in 1K pots. We head over to the lodge into the 1-2 game for $300. First hand of the night, we look down at pocket queens from under the gun, and I raise it up to $15. Player in the +1 position puts in the call, and we're heads up to the flop. Flop's a good one. It comes 10, 3 deuce rainbow, and I go for a c-bet here of $15, and the +1 looks me up and puts in the call, which brings the 4 of spades on the turn. Not a card we need to be too worried about. The only hand I expect him to have here that gets there on the turn is ace-5 of clubs or spades. For that reason, I bet a nearly pot-sized bet for $55, and the player in the +1 position puts in the call, and we're going to see a river. River pairs the board. It comes a 10 of hearts. Not the best card because if he had ace-10 or king-10, he now has trips, and that's going to beat my pair of queens. For that reason, I slow down and check. This will also give him the opportunity and rope to go for a bluff here. If he had a hand like 3-5, a busted straight draw, maybe a busted flush draw on the turn, he might go for a bet here, and we're going to pick him off. Probably not going to be folding for any sizing, so when he leads out for $100 now, I can't be folding. I toss in the call. If he has a 10, he's going to have to show it to us. He shows us his cards, and he doesn't have a 10. Instead, he has 5-6. He had a gutter on the flop and calls us. He drills it on the turn, and he's going to get rewarded with that nearly $400 pot, 0-1 on the session. So naturally, we look down at our next hand, pocket 10s. If queens don't work for us, hopefully these do the trick. I raise it up to $17 over a $6 straddle. The big blind puts in the call, and the straddler now rips it all in for $90. The action's back onto me. We can't give the straddler too much credit. He has a short stack, and he's in the straddle position, so I decide to put in the call, and the big blind gets out of the way. The opponent shows pocket jacks. Not a great situation. How does he wake up with jacks here in the straddle position? Either way though, we're going to run it 2 times. 10 cards for us to hit a 10 and hopefully get half the pot. Let's see what happens. First flop comes 9-8 deuce, turns a 5, and the river comes the 4 of hearts. He's going to take down the first board. Okay, dealer, put out the second board. The flop comes ace-3-7, no help for us. Turn comes a 6. We need a 10, but it comes a king, and he's going to take down that $200 pot. Jacks over 10s. We rebuy for $220 more. We look down at queen jack offsuit, and I raise it up to $15. We're on the button, and 2 players put in the call, so going 3 ways to the flop. Flop's a good one. It comes queen 3-4 with 2 spades. Expecting the action to check over to me, the cutoff decides though to donk out into me for $15. Not gonna be folding here. My decision is between calling and raising. The merits of raising are if he has a spade draw, we're gonna be putting more pressure on that and getting more money in the pot. I doubt he's gonna have a better queen than us, like king queen or ace queen. However, we are in position, so I like to go for the call. If he decides to check to us on the turn, I can still put money in on the pot since we'll be in position. Let's see what the turn brings in. The turn comes the 10 of clubs. Although the front door spade draw does not come in, Queen 10 now has us outkicked, having us dominated with 2 pair. The cutoff does not slow down. He bets out for $25, and I like to go for the call once again. River comes the deuce of diamonds, so now ace 5 and 5-6 now make a straight. Front door spades break off, so when he bets out for $35, I debate going for a raise now for value. However, I'm not too sure what he's going to be calling us with that we don't have beat. So I like to go for the passive route and stick in the $35. Expecting to be good a large portion of the time. I just think a raise is going to fold out all of his bluffs. The only hands he's going to call us with are hands that have us beat. Didn't really think it was a smart play. The opponent says we're good. I quickly turn over my pair of queens, not looking to nit roll him here. He mucks his cards, and we're going to take down that $200 pot, down $100 on the session. We try our luck with pocket 10s for a second time. I open it up to $15. We get 4 callers this time, so we're going 5 ways to the flop. Flop comes king 10 3, bang, we flop middle set. It's a draw heavy board. Queen jack has an open ender. Any 2 spades have a flush draw. So when the action checks to me, I bet out for $35. I think in hindsight, I could be going a little bit larger, somewhere around 50 to 55, considering there's 4 other opponents in the hand. Cutoff puts in the call. He's the only one to do so, and we're off to the turn. Looking for a clean turn is exactly what we get. It comes the 5 of diamonds. Action's on me, and the opponent only has 140 left in his stack. I have him covered, and there's around $145 in the pot. If I bet small here on the turn, there's just not that much money to get in by the river. I decided to rip it all in. If he has a strong king, he's going to call us. Any of his strong draws, he's going to have to pay to play. So I jam it all in for $140. The opponent thinks about it for a minute before mucking his cards. We're going to take down that $145 pot, finally back up in Profitsville. We're on to the next hand where we look down at pocket 8s, and I raise it up to $15. This time, instead of 4 callers, we get 5. We're going 6 ways to the flop. The flop comes king, jack, 8. Bang, we flop bottom set this time. Back-to-back sets, back-to-back bangs. When the action's on me, I bet out half pot here for $45. Another very sketchy board. Queen 10 has an open ender. Ace queen has a gutter to Broadway. And there's a diamond draw out there, so I like my bet here of $45. We end up getting looked up in 2 positions, so we're going 3 ways to the turn, which brings in the 6 of hearts. Great card for us. If we were ahead on the flop, we're ahead on the turn. For that reason, I bet out for $110. Looking to charge all the aforementioned draws. Fortunately though, both other players fold. Marcelo to my right turns over 6-4 of diamonds. Good fold by him. We're going to take down that $225 pot. Let's go. Let's keep this train moving in the right direction. We look down at ace king of diamonds and make the standard open to 15. I'm in the low jack, and the button now 3-bets us to $40. Action's back onto me, and I 4-bet him to $90. I think this is a mistake. Not the 4-bet, but definitely the sizing. Since I'm out of position and I'm making a 4-bet, it probably should be somewhere around $150. $90 is way too small. It's basically a min raise, and he's going to have to call us with everything, including his bluffs like 8-9 of hearts and that stuff. He of course puts in the call. Did not expect him to fold there, and we're off to a flop, which comes queen 9-10 with 2 clubs. Pretty connected board, but I can represent the queens, kings, and aces here in my range. For that reason, I like to go for a c-bet here. There's $183 in the pot, and I bet out for $70. The button likes something on this board. He puts in the call, and we're off to the turn, which brings in the 4 of hearts. Does not change anything here, but we still just have 2 overs and a gutter to Broadway. I like to slow down once we get called on the flop, and the opponent actually checks behind, giving us the river card, which comes the 7 of spades. 6-8 now makes a straight, but the front door clubs breaks off. Action's on me. I'm not going to be bluffing into the button here and risking a large portion of my stack. I check it over to him, and he bets out now for $100. Nothing for us to do with ace high other than to fold. I think I like a larger sizing pre-flop, but other than that, I like my checks on the turn and river. $323 going the opponent's way, and we're basically even on the session. Quick side note, you guys, if we look back at the last month, 68.3% of you guys that watch my videos are not subscribed, so do me a favor, give me an early Christmas gift and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell so you get all my notifications as well. I want to do one more fun thing. If you guys are from Australia, the land down under, in the last month I had 8,000 viewers from that country. If you guys are from Australia, leave a comment down below. Really love that country, want to get out there. Let me know if there's any poker rooms down there. Let's get into the next hand. Let's go. Ace 3 of hearts now from under the gun, and I'd raise it up to $15. We get 5 callers again, so we're going 6 ways to a flop. Come on, dealer, put 3 hearts out there. We need a cooler situation. $90 in the pot. The flop comes ace 6 queen with 2 hearts. Dealer got that one right. We have top pair with a front door flush draw, and I elect to lead out for $30. I want to build the size of the pot. Our hand is strong, but it can improve on the turn. We're not really scared of anything. Marcelo and the middle position both put in the call, so we're going 3 ways to the turn. Turn comes the king of hearts. Bang, we turn the nuts. Dream situation for us. Marcelo checks it over to me for a second time. I need to be going for value here. If someone has a worse flush, they're going to have to pay us off. Additionally, if someone has 2 pair, a set, something of that nature, I bet out for $45. Middle position gets out of the way, but our buddy Marcelo on our right puts in the call for $45, which brings in the river. River comes the ace of clubs, giving us trips. We already had the flush, but that's a board pairing card. We don't exactly love it. Marcelo checks it over to me, and I can't be checking behind here. We need to go for value, even though the board pairs. We have one of the aces, so that eliminates some combos of that. It's unlikely he'll have pocket queens or pocket kings. If he has us beat now, it's most likely pocket sixes, so I jam all in for $200. Marcelo turns his hand face up, 10-9 of hearts. He's in a pickle here. We could obviously have all the strong ace king, ace queen combos, also queens and kings. Pocket aces are all in our range. So he actually decides to fold his flush. That's a crazy fold there, and I turn over the ace of hearts, letting him think a little bit if he made a good or a bad fold there. Crazy fold by Marcelo, but we're going to take down that $270 pot, up $130 on the session. This next hand's a funky one. We look down at ace deuce of spades from the button. The +2 position raises it up to $5. One call in between us. I decide to stick in the call, and the small blind, our friend Miles, raises it up to $25. Big blind and the +2 put in the call. Not going to be folding a suited ace here in position. I stick in the call as well, and we're off to the flop. Flop comes 8-4-3 with 2 diamonds. We have a gutter to the wheel, and we have the backdoor spade draw. Additionally, an ace might give us the best hand as well. The action checks it over to me, and I decide to go for a bet here. There's $100 in the pot, and no one looks interested. I fire out for $40, hoping it just takes it down. Miles gets out of the way. He was the initial raiser. That's good news. Player in the +2 position, though, decides to put in the call. That's going to bring us to the turn, which pairs the 4 of clubs. When the +2 checks it over to me for a second time, let's pull up the solver and see what it recommends me doing. With my entire range, I'm supposed to be checking behind 53% of the time, but if we look specifically at ace deuce suited and ace deuce of spades, we're supposed to be checking 71%, but if we want to go for a bet, it likes a large bet 22% of the time. Obviously, we're supposed to be betting all of our 8s. We're supposed to be betting pocket 8s, pocket 4s, pocket 3s, some of our king 10 through jack 10 suited, but overall it likes a check back around 52% of the time. Let's see what I do in the moment. I say screw the solver. We're going to be betting it here. It likes it 21% of the time, but I'm feeling 100%, $180 in the pot, and I bet out for $75. The opponent finds a call for a second time here, which brings a 7 of clubs on the river. He sheepishly checks it over to me for a third time, and let's jump back into the solver and see what it recommends me doing by the river. On the river here, it likes me checking back with my entire range 62% of the time. Let's jump into ace deuce suited, specifically spades, and we see it likes a jam around 100% of the time here with my hand. If we look at all the 8s that it liked us betting on the flop, it now prefers them to check behind now that we have some showdown value. The other hands were betting large here with pocket 3s, pocket 4s, pocket 8s. Obviously, all those have a boat or quads. That makes a lot of sense. A lot of our king 9 through 10-9 suiteds, though, probably of the diamond variety, are going for a bet, considering they have no showdown value. Jumping back into the hand, let's see if I take the preferred route of the solver here by ripping it all in. I'm cutting out some chips here. It looks like a raise is incoming, and that's exactly what I do with 2 hands, $135. It's a small bet, though, so I prefer going larger in the future. We get insta-called, snap-called by the +2 position. That's no good. I'm going to turn over my cards, though, and make the opponent show. The opponent does not want to show, which is very interesting. His stack of reds is just sitting out in the middle of the table. Everyone's talking to themselves, but not saying anything, knowing that I just have ace high. He's probably good here if he calls me on the river. He sees my hand and he acknowledges I just have ace high, and he says, no, you're good. He taps the table and mucks his cards. I have no idea what's going on. Damon the dealer mucks his cards, which officially means I won the hand. How is ace high good here? I understand being good on the turn or the river, but when I bet, he just has to fold. So when I get looked up, I expect him to be losing 100% of the time. That's not what happens though. Damon cuts out my chips, $135 more coming my way, a $600 pot being shipped my way. Absolutely a dream situation. I have no idea how my bluff turns into a value bet there by the river, up $445 on the session. Nothing's making sense in this session anymore. Middle position raises it up to $25. There's one call to me. I'm in the big blind. I look down at 5-7 of clubs. I decided to put in the call, and we're going 3 ways to the flop. Flop comes king 6-8 with 1 club. We have an open-ended straight draw, a backdoor flush draw. Life's pretty good. I check it over to middle position. He decides to go for a c-bet of $25. The cutoff puts in the call. We could be going for a raise here around $100, putting pressure on middle position. If he folds, it's likely the cutoff will fold as well. I decided just a flat call, hoping for a good card. We're off to the turn. Turn comes gin, it comes a 4 of clubs, bang, we turn the straight. Pretty hard for an opponent to think we're going to have a straight here, so I decided to check, going for the check raise. Middle position decides to check, and the cutoff checks behind. Unfortunate situation for us, and we're going to see a free river card, which comes the 8 of diamonds. Pairing the board, I don't really expect the opponents to have a boat here, so I need to bet out large, charging all the strong kings. Maybe one of the opponents rivered an 8, and they'll probably pay us off as well. I bet out for $135. Middle position gets out of the way. The cutoff mucks his cards as well. We're going to win that hand, but not as large as I would have liked it to be. Still up $575 on the session. We look down at the next hand, king queen of diamonds, and we have 1,050 in our stack. We're in the small blind, and under the gun opens it up to $15. Middle position puts in the call. King queen of diamonds going out of position here is definitely not a call. I need to be raising here, and I like to go for a sizing of $65. I size larger because there's a caller in between, and we're going to be out of position. Middle position puts in the call, and we're heads up to a king high flop, king 6-3 with 2 hearts. Pretty great situation, and with $147 out there, I elect to go for a $45 sizing. Hindsight, I think I like a larger sizing, somewhere around $75 to $80. Reason being, there's some straight and flush draws out there, and we're out of position. I need to be sizing up. Still, when the action's on middle position, he elects to jam all in for $240. Action's back onto me, and I'm thinking about it for a little while, but ultimately I come to the decision I can't be folding king queen suited here. If I'm folding my top of my range, I'm definitely overfolding in this situation. If he has a set or an ace king type hand, he's just going to get all of my money. I stick a stack of red chips in there, indicating a call. We're off to a run up. We end up running it twice. The first board comes the 7 of clubs, followed by the jack of spades. No heart probably means I'm good, I'm guessing. Second board comes the queen of clubs, giving us 2 pair, followed by the 4 of clubs. Opponent is sheepish to turn over his hand. I turn over my king queen. He turns over king 10 and then mucks his cards. We're going to take down that $627 pot. Not exactly sure why he's ripping it on the flop, other than he put me on a flush draw. Pretty specific hand to put an opponent on. I don't recommend doing this play in the future. I'm going to scoop that $627 pot. Feeling good about how the session is ending up. Great news that we're up on the session. Even better news is that our buddy and fellow degenerate and gambler, Alex, the floor manager here at the lodge, comes and sits down at our table. He's going to be in this next hand here, so buckle your seatbelts. I look down at jack 10 of diamonds from middle position, and I raise it up to $15. Alex on the button puts in the call. Not good news. We're out of position to him. We're heads up to a flop. Flop's a decent one. It comes 10-6 deuce with 1 diamond, 2 spades on board. So I'm going to go for a c-bet here of $15, looking to charge all of the draws, straight and flush draws that he might have in his range. $15 is the price of poker. Alex says no way. We're popping it up to $45, and the action's back onto me. I don't even think about it. I'm not going to be going for a raise here. Definitely not folding top pair to Alex. I stick in the call, and we're off to the turn. Turn's a pretty bad one. It comes to 7 of spades. If he was raising the flop as a bluff, he now probably got there. 8-9 now makes us straight. Any spades are going to have us cracked as well. I check it over to him, looking to see what sizing he elects to go for. He doesn't slow down. He bets out half pot for $65. Action's back onto me, and I have a decision. Never raising, maybe folding, maybe calling. And in this moment, I decide to go for a call. He's an opponent that's going to bet a lot of his cards. If he had any naked spade like the ace, king, or queen, he'd probably look to put pressure here on the turn. For that reason, I think top pair is just too strong to fold. I stick in the call, and we're off to the river. When the river comes a 9 of diamonds, it puts a 4-liner to a straight. Now a lot of his bluffs also get there. If he didn't have spades, if he didn't have a set, maybe he had a hand like 6-8. It now makes a straight, a pretty gross card for us to see. I check it over to Alex, hoping he'll check behind it, we can get to a cheap showdown, but that's not what happens. There's $253 in the pot, and he rips it all in. $250, I have him covered. Top pair, I just don't see how it's good here. There's spades, there's straight draws, 2-pair combos, all are going to have us beat. A lot of his bluffs get there on the river as well. I turn over the 10 of diamonds, letting him know I folded top pair, hoping he'll show us. Sure enough, he does, but it's not the news we wanted to see. He turns over 5-6 offsuit, club, and heart. Interesting decision there. He didn't even have a spade in his hand. He's going to win that hand as a bluff. He's wearing a Buccaneers jersey, so I feel a little bit sorry for him. But he doesn't feel sorry for us. He's going to take down that $253 pot with a pair of sixes. That's the last hand of the night. We rack up our chips and head to the cage. Alright, you guys, that wraps up this session. This 1-2 session here, got into the game for 300. We bought for 220, out for 1393, I believe. A profit of 873. Let's go in a 1-2 game. We also streamed live on TikTok. Got like 1,400 viewers. If you guys are not following me on Instagram already, at Wolfgang Poker. As always, good luck on the felt. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, leave a comment down below. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace. Thanks for watching to the end of my video. Click my head below to subscribe and stay in the loop. See you next time.